between federal, local, and state when it comes to the evictions?
Well, I think that's one of the issues definitely throughout the pandemic that has been highlighted. And we've seen various levels of success or lack of success around coordination. I couldn't agree with you more. How best do you think we can get out the benefits of the American Rescue Plan, and which populations have we found that have been most difficult to reach? For example, one of the concerns that I've had is that and which is why we're traveling around the country. Just this is meant to be a public education campaign, so people know what they're entitled to receive, right? For example, for people who are in the system, that $1,400 check and all the benefits that should flow from the American Rescue Plan, they're likely to get it in a faster pace. If they're in the system because they paid taxes last year, or they are a recipient of Social Security benefits or Medicare, things like that. But if people are not in the system, then it's likely to take longer. And they're likely to be more glitches, right, in terms of getting the relief to them as quickly as possible. So we are urging people, for example, file your taxes, even if you didn't have an income or a significant income, so that they're in the system. And that's one of the things that we would love your help with, is to let people know how to be in the system so they can get that direct deposit, right, as quickly as possible. But what else are you all seeing in terms of the folks who we may not be hearing from, even though they do need help? You know, I will say to my team, let's sit back and listen to who we're not hearing from. If in this region, where would we say we're not hearing from people? I don't mean geographically, but geographically. Who are we not hearing from that we need to reach out to or do a better job of reaching out?
Madam Vice President, that's a very good question, because that population we're not hearing from, and they are in the shadows. But I do want to kind of piggyback what Susan said, that you know, in the distribution lines there is a camaraderie and people are helping each other. But what that has shown me is that we do have a transportation issue, and not only a transportation issue in distribution, but also a transportation issue in getting those other services, such as the people that are in the shadows. And so, you know, I know that, you know, here in this community, we are racking our brains on how do we get that information out, or how do we get services to those individuals, or those individuals to the services that they need. And so I think we do need to focus a portion on transportation. And I also think that those individuals that are in the shadows, it's a traumatic time. And so there are some mental health issues. I'm not saying that they're mentally ill, but it's a shock. You know, when you go through it, it's a lot of trauma. So I think it's very facet. You know, there are a lot of different pieces, but I do think that, you know, my biggest thing is transportation. And Councilwoman and I, you know, we supported some legislation to where we're subsidizing private transportation companies to go out and transport individuals to services, and such as grocery stores and things like that. So I think we need to, again, try to target that transportation, or that that outreach piece.
Yeah. Dr. Green, if you have
Well, for education, it's more about who we don't see.
Yeah.
These are our children who are learning remotely, and they still have attendance issues. For families who are ESOL families, getting those bilingual services out to them. We have bilingual interpreters who we try to send out to get that information out to them. But those are the individuals that we see, that we don't see, are the ones struggling. And those are the same children that we worry, if you're not coming to grab and go, how are you getting food during the day? Even though we have this available for them. So it goes all back to transportation, being evicted. It's kind of a vicious cycle that we see the evidence in the school district that, one, they're chronically absent. or if they're learning remotely, even though they have the equipment, the resources, we take care of the internet, their environment may not be conducive to having school 6 hours during the day. There's other things happening. And those are the children that keep me up at night, that we're worried about. How can we support them? Because we can't see them. We can't get to them as easily as students who are coming into brick and mortar.
And Madam Vice President, we could talk about this all for hours and days. And we're also passionate about this, but we also want to be very respectful of your time. But this is an all hands on deck, I think, for everybody across the entire country. It is making sure that the incredible work that you and the President are doing and our members of Congress is getting that information flowing down to the local level, to the state level, and allowing us the opportunity to be empowered to educate all of these individuals too about all of the resources and all the benefits that they're entitled to, and making sure we bring people into the system. So again, thank you for being here. The first step is you being here, helping this community understand the important work and what you are doing here. And now, hopefully, all those who are standing here, all the media, that we are going to help to disseminate this information to our communities. And we cannot just thank you enough for the support that you and the President have been giving to us.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. And it is very important to the President that we are on the ground with all of you who have been for over a year, every day, with many, many sleepless nights. The work you all have been doing is extraordinary. I think that there is, I'm certain actually, that history is going to show that this was a moment of extreme crisis that challenged us, and there were the heroes that just showed up. I think we use the angels walking among us, the heroes that just showed up, which includes your volunteers, which includes these incredible, the families who have a car, who are picking up the neighbors to help them come to be in line, the frontline workers. There's so many heroes that have been revealed to the rest of us. And it should give us a sense of hope and a sense of faith in who we all are. But you all have been doing the work on the ground. And so, yes, part of the reason I'm here is to talk about the American Rescue Plan, but only to let you know that it was designed and the spirit behind it was intended to help you do the work you all have been doing every day. And again, I think that without any question, in this moment of crisis, the kindness of humanity has revealed itself. The generosity of spirit, the courage, the commitment. And so let that kind of guide our optimism in this moment of crisis. And again, all that to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And be well.
And help is on the way.
It's on the way. Yes, Commissioner Reed. Thank you.